proposed 2025 urban growth boundary. So we'll start the meeting with a roll call, and we'll begin with Adam Lewis.
Here.
Linda Cash. David Lattimore. Ken Webb.
Here.
Tom Cry.
Here.
Jonathan Job.
Here.
Kevin Brooks.
Here.
Cindy Slater.
Here.
Tim Lawson.
Here.
And Brian Workman.
Here.
David Rollins. Not here. Okay. All right, we'll move on to the approval of the minutes. Approval of the minutes.
Make a motion.
Do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Okay, everyone has the minutes. They have a chance to look at it, and would they like to comment on it? If there's no comments, all in favor of approval of the minutes, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay. There appears to be no old business from anyone that I know of. So we'll move to the new business, which is going into our public hearing. Yes, sir.
I do have something. So as we have reviewed the map, of course, Dr. Cash is unable to be with us today, but as we looked at the lower end or the southwest part of the map, the area past, as you go out past the interstate, Dr. Cash has a request that as we go toward the landfill area, that the growth plan would follow Withrow Road. It kind of staggers in and out around that area now, and her request would be that it follow Withrow Road. If you come down to the intersection of Withrow Road, Nature Trail, that Nature Trail goes, in, I believe, into where the landfill is. She asked that Withrow Road be the boundary for the urban growth plan on that side. You can see it if you look at the large.
Am I going around it? Right there. Tri-State Exhibition Center. They're taking it out. Carving this way.
Basically,
Mr. Chairman, that's a comment. Is that going to be under old business or is that going to be in the public hearing? How do you want to have that entered?
We haven't started the public yet, I don't.
Yeah, I would agree to that. I would agree to that. Sorry, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to recognize Mr. Fivas.
Thank you so much. Do we know if Tri-State would want to have to be? I don't know if they have sewer or not. They have sewer. They do.
Yes, they do.
Okay, so that they probably wouldn't send that.
That's why it was bigger.
That they have, they're connected, that would an unintended consequence.
Okay. We'll continue. We'll begin the public hearing. And the Mrs. Slater's request on behalf of Dr. Cash has been noted, correct? You know, I would like to just ask staff for your all's professional opinion, not now. We can discuss it next week. I'll give you time. We have time based on that or any other request of modifications based on your experience and, okay. All right, very good. We'll begin the public hearing. First off, I'd like to once again thank everyone for being here. Is there anyone here today that will be wanting to comment publicly, or you can do it in writing and submit it to us later? Is there anyone here that will be wanting to say anything regarding the process or look at the map or ask any questions? If so, just raise your hand. Okay, we have one. Okay. All right, very good. Really, at this point, if we just have one, Matt, are you ready?
I just would, again, I've seen the map on in the newspaper. It's a ebb and flow kind of thing. Maybe something that I could take back to the McDonald and Black Fox communities. Just to thank you.
Thank you. And do you, Matt, did you sign in? If you don't mind signing in before you leave, so okay.
And Matt, that map may be hard to read, but it is updated on their website where you can actually go to the map on the website and break it down to individual streets and see the street level.
Yeah, just make sure email address, and he'll get that to you.
It's easier to see the street level on the interactive map.
All right. No one else would like to speak regarding the urban growth boundary? All right, we'll move on to, will we have any staff reports? Okay. That was just discussed a minute ago by Ms. Slater? Okay. Okay. hold on one second. I'd like to recognize Tom Cry.
I have a few words to make, not very many. We all know the Comprehensive Growth Plan Committee is tasked with identifying territory for planning purposes that may accommodate residential and non-residential growth projected over the next 20 years. Since the adoption of our current growth plan 15 years ago, 21% of the designated territory has been annexed. I recognize the importance of growth and welcome carefully planned development that is done right and proper, that adheres to the law. The initial proposal from the City of Cleveland to amend the existing urban growth boundaries extended all the way to the Hiwassee River, accommodating 50 years of projected growth, according to the Cleveland City Manager, 30 years beyond the statutory requirements. However, I have yet to receive clarity on the number of years the comprehensive program submitted to the committee would accommodate. While much of this committee's focus has been on the map and boundaries, another crucial element that must be considered, non-contingent annexation requests within the urban growth boundary, wherever it may ultimately fall, require a mutually agreed upon plan of services between the county and involved municipality. I had it on, I thought. This agreement is an opportunity for the municipality and the county to collaboratively work to ensure all interests of property owners, the municipality and the county are properly addressed. Managing growth effectively presents challenges in providing necessary services. State law mandates interlocal agreements or non-contiguous annexation within the urban growth boundary. Specifically, TCA Code 5-1-113 requires a plan for emergency services for interceding properties and maintenance of county roads and bridges comprising the primary access routes to the annexed areas. The responsibility for emergency services in both contiguous annexations affects both the municipality and the county. Some annexed islands are a far distance from the municipal services, making it problematic for the municipality to provide emergency response. As a result, these areas must continue relying on mutual aid from the county fire department, which is fully funded from fire tax revenue. Each annexation reduces the fire tax revenue, creating a funding gap. To ensure continued service, municipalities should agree to compensate the county for fire protection until they can assume full responsibility. To date, it seems the practice has been to annex up to the ditch line without assuming responsibility for or contributing to the maintenance of these primary routes to the annexed areas. Just last month, a resident voiced concern about the impact of newly annexed developments on the roads. We must establish agreements to either annex these roads or share maintenance responsibilities for primary access roads and bridges. Common sense suggests that if sewer lines are required to be installed in annexed areas approved for subdivisions, then logically the infrastructure of the roads should be considered concurrently with the sewer lines. Would this not be a reasonable expectation? During the tenure of the county commission, or my tenure on the county commission, we have approved numerous non-contiguous annexations and have never denied annexation requests. Our record reflects a consistent willingness to support the desires of property owners and collaborate with municipalities on annexation. I firmly believe that interlocal agreements should be required on all annexations, including contiguous partials. Proper planning is crucial to managing growth effectively, and annexation, whether contiguous or not, it introduces logistical challenges that must be addressed. For the record, I welcome carefully planned, responsible growth, but the recent practice of annexing islands by a referendum of one vote that causes fragmented growth and hinders cohesive community development must stop. I fully support amending the growth boundary to provide for 20 years of projected growth as required by statute, without modifications to agreements and an agreement to forego annexation by referendum for the life of the growth boundary. I will only endorse a growth plan that aligns with the 20-year requirement. However, should we reach agreements on some key concerns, I would support a slightly larger growth boundary. As we all sit here today, representing the various factions of the community we call home, let us heed the wisdom of Socrates, placing the welfare of the community above personal interest. Now is the time for true leadership to embrace our community's growth and to share the responsibility of guiding it forward effectively with wisdom and unity. I ask that my comments be added to the minutes of the meeting. Can that be done? I got a copy I just read from here, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Cry. Anything else?
No, that's fine. Thank you.
Any other comments before we give the planners 5 minutes to look at the map or have discussion? If not, we'll adjourn for 5 minutes. Recess for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Corinne. Carrying place. And I don't think.
All right, I'd like to call the meeting back to order. Okay, Robert, could you share with the committee where we stand on the discussion, please?
Get my mic on. Yeah. So I do believe that there's some questions that need to be answered over the next week before we convene again on the 13th, but we've got some ideas and that'll help kind of steer those questions, if that makes sense. And I don't know if I'm missing anything from the conversation, but that's where I'm hearing it is we will bring probably a map that shows the comments that we've received and how they impact it. I'll try to work something that shows that this body can then discuss the pros and cons of it or whatnot, and see what differences, if something does need to change, we'll try to address it then. But I think at this point, I've got information to at least document and present to the board and show which is where we need to be. That's what we're doing here.
Okay, thank you. So we have all the comments that we received today and the discussions that have taken place. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, could I ask, just for a quick summary, we had old business, we had the public hearing, there was a request submitted by Commissioner Slater from Dr. Cash for these changes on what is the southwest corner of the current urban growth boundary. There's been a request to modify the line that was presented today on the map that we agreed on last meeting, to modify it to Withrow Road. Is that right, Brian? And we would like to preliminarily accept those modifications, with the lowest corner of that intersection being kept whole. Robert, I think you understood that from our
Yes,
recess.
I do.
And then let's ask for that revised or modified map 5.0 to be brought back to our next public hearing,
Yes.
that we can open up for discussion, comments, and hopefully
Votes.
gather consensus on what will be the 5th version of the map, I think, if I'm counting right.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Lewis will make sure that Mayor Davis and everybody gets copies of it that we can distribute. The mayor of Charleston is here, county is represented, so I think all hearts and minds are clear. Mayor, the Charleston, there was no changes, no further discussion. All hearts and minds clear, as we say. Wonderful. All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Based on the mayor's comments, is everyone that heard them in agreement? Yes.
I would just ask that we review the dates and times of any future meetings.
We'll do that just in a second.
Okay.
Any other comments? Okay, Mr. Fivas.
I just wanted to appreciate what Commissioner Cry had to say. I think as we talked about at the last meeting, I think we've had a number of conversations with a number of county commissioners concerned with taking in roads, and I think that I've had conversations with our city council elected officials, and I think there's a huge level of acceptance of that matter, and agree with many of your thoughts as far as that we need to make sure that we don't leave properties from the city going on to to do the right thing. So I think that there's we're working on that, and we appreciate you bringing it up. Second, that want to amend my comment before, and we talked. It was 4 or 5 months ago that the first map that we had, it was probably there. I don't remember the exact words, but it had a much longer time span. I think you said 50. But I think now, my opinion in looking at that is that looking at, because a lot of the areas in the blue area are already built out, and we're not adding really a tremendous amount, as I would believe that the map that we have, and we may make some other reductions, is that the map is probably about a 20-year map. From the level of development that we're seeing, that I think that, and you know, that's a blessing and a curse, of course, that we feel that this area is consistently served for about 20 years before we would have to reconvene and look at it again. So I amend my public comments if I said something which was a different map, and I think this probably accurately reflects a 20-year map. I'll probably ask our planning staff to do a deeper dive on that, to come there, but that's my sense and feeling and looking at it. So, but I appreciate you bringing that to our attention. And that's all I had, and trying to think of.
Thank you very much. We're very interested in working this out, and I'm just going on input that's been given to me, and I guess there's been more on that Exit 33 referendum. I bet I've had at least 50 people get in touch with me on that, but that's water over the dam. We can't pull it back. So
but I think you know, the good part is that if this goes through, is that because this is the process and this is the step that we're taking, is that the county commissioners and the city council will both have seats at the table as far as determining how to step forward with growth, meaning that you guys have to agree with some of the annexations, and we have to too. So I think that this is a great step for city, county, city of Charleston relations for that. So I'm done.
Thank you, Mr. Fivas. Okay. Are there any other comments from the committees? Any committee members have any questions and comments? Okay. If there are not any others, what I show Robert is our next meeting regarding Mr. Webb's request. We'll have our second public hearing next Thursday at 6 o'clock.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay. And that will be advertised.
It has been advertised.
Okay. And basically, at the end of that meeting, he shows that we will have a discussion and a vote, final vote, to present this to the city council and the Bradley County Commission.
Given the meeting dates for the respective.
And Charleston.
Given the meeting dates for the respective legislative bodies, we're up against it at that point. So yeah.
Okay.
The date of the city of Cleveland is March 24th. Bradley County Commission would be April 7th, and the city of Charleston meets on April 8th.
So just be prepared to have discussion and a vote next Thursday. Okay? There's no other comments. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Okay. Yes, sir. Second? Okay. All in favor? Aye.